I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Hello, Jade here from the Rawsome Truth. Today I'm going to talk to you about a phone conversation I had, and I just want to talk to you about my experience and how I handled it, and maybe things I should have said and shouldn't have said, just to help other vegans who come up against these same sort of things. I was on the phone to a family member today, and another family member was in Thailand, in Phuket, and they rode on elephants. Of course, when I saw this, my blood boiled. I was like, oh my God, who does this in 2017? I attended a sanctuary in Chiangmai, and the guy who drove us, who's heavily involved in the sanctuary, he was telling us basically now the only people that they're getting in the ride-on elephant places are Chinese tourists, because China are very uneducated, because they don't get any information from the world. They don't have Facebook, they don't have Google, they only have their own social networks, so they don't even understand what most of us are being educated about in regards to animal cruelty. And then, of course, tourists with pumpkins on their heads. She wasn't going over there with a pumpkin on her head, because I'd already told her earlier about the cruelty that elephants endure when it comes to being ridden on. They're chained up daily, they're hit with bullwhips, they're stolen from their mothers, a lot of them. There's a lot of things, and not just that, the damage that is done to their backs, because they're not designed to be ridden on, is just dreadful. But for me, it really upset me, obviously because I'm a vegan, but it upset me more because I just feel connected to elephants. 3 years ago, I went to a sanctuary here where I am now in Phnom Penh, and we saw this elephant who had been rescued, but he had a prosthetic foot, probably from half his leg down, and it was made out of like Dunlop tyres. Dunlop had actually supplied the tyres for this foot, which had all been done by veterinary staff. The reason his foot had to be amputated is because he'd been in chains probably for most of his life, and they're so fearful when they're in chains that they're pacing, trying to get out of the chain. They hate it. It drives them to mental illness, and the rubbing of the chain had caused such infection into his foot, he lost his foot. And these are just some of the things that happens to these animals when they're in these horrible places. And if you are a tourist and you're coming over to Asia, you have to be so careful, because there is such cruelty in these countries, because it's their way of making money. So going further into the conversation, of course, then it starts getting into meat. It starts getting into what you're eating. My partner had actually sent her Sonia Say's video. I'm vegan, are you judging me? She said, oh my God, that video is horrible. She's got no right to judge anybody. Now, of course, probably we don't have a right to judge anybody, but I'm sure most people judge people who kill people, child molesters, bank robbers, people who commit assault, people who rape women, people who abuse the elderly, the list goes on. When somebody is choosing to continue to be a part of animal cruelty, to consume animal products, to purchase animal products, you are paying somebody to commit animal cruelty. So, of course, there is that sense of judgment. And it's not in a condemning way. I realise that everyone has been brainwashed since birth. We all have been so indoctrinated to believe we need animal products. I mean, even in schools, we're taught, a pig gives us bacon, a cow gives us milk, A chicken gives us eggs. We eat roast chicken. All of these different things that children learn from such small ages. You know, you've got to have milk to be big and strong. If you don't eat meat, you're going to be protein deficient. All these different things that are completely brainwashed into our brains. Animals are here for us. What else would they be here for? All these different things that people honestly believe. And then, of course, this conversation came into then, it's everyone's choice. It is everybody's choice, but we've only got two choices. And the two choices are quite simple. You can choose to be on the side of the victims. I take the victim's side. Or you can be on the side of the oppressors. And if you consume meat, if you partake in using animals for entertainment, if you buy makeup or products that are tested on animals, if you are a part of animal abuse, which this is all a part of it, the clothes you wear, if you wear leather clothing, you wear a suede skirt, whatever, just because it looks good, you are choosing to take the side of the oppressor. Because every time that you open your purse, you have a choice. We all have a choice. And you can then decide what choice you take. And I think for most people, nobody wants to be a part of animal cruelty. But like my friend said to me then, she said, Jade, I really try. She said, I do try, and I don't like animal cruelty, and I love animals. And most people love animals, but the line is generally drawn when it comes to cows, pigs, sheep, chicken, fish. These animals aren't quite as loved as an elephant or a monkey or a dog or a cat, something like that. So, okay, you love animals, and I think most people do. And you know, the conversation came in, but I'm not as passionate about it as you. And I immediately said, I'm not passionate about animal cruelty. And I'm not. This isn't my passion. My passion was never, ever, ever to wake up every day and say, how can I educate people about animal cruelty? And if you follow me on Facebook, anyone's welcome to follow me on Facebook. It's under Jade Rochelle Tornquist. Every single day I post educational posts about what happens to animals. I'm always posting something. I'm always doing something. If I meet people, I'm always educating people. I've been involved in a lot of activism. It's become my life. Is it my passion? No. And this is exactly what I said to her. This isn't my passion. My passion's to teach people to eat healthy. My passion is to teach people to exercise. My passion is to help people to have a better life. But it's turned into that I spend the majority of my life educating people on animal cruelty, because if I don't stand up and be a voice for them, who will? And if we all have the attitude of, it's not my passion, it's not something I'm really, that into, whatever, then who does stand up for them? Who becomes their voice? And that's why it's become my life. Veganism is my life. It consumes me. It's everything I think about. I walk through the market. Now, when I say a normal person, an omnivore would walk through the market in Cambodia and wouldn't see the things I see. I see dead cows. I see dead chickens. I see dead frogs. I see dead turkeys. I see live turkeys for sale, and the first thing that I'm thinking is that turkey's going to be dead shortly. I see geese in little cages, and I think, oh my God, they're going to be dead. Regular people aren't going to the markets thinking that. All they're thinking is, oh, there's plenty of food there. So that's the difference, and that's because I know the cruelty that these animals are suffering daily. I wish it didn't have to be my passion, and this is what I said. I don't want it to be something I wake up doing every day, because I want this world to change. If this world changed and everyone was vegan, do I have to wake up and do this every day? No, of course I don't. I can just educate people the right way to eat, which suits me. That's what I want, is for people to be healthy. But you can't be healthy when you're consuming death, when you're consuming suffering. If you consume the suffering of another living being, how can you ever be healthy? So the first thing I need to teach people, instead of teaching them how to be healthy, I need to teach them how not to consume suffering. And that has become the most important thing to me. I don't want to be passionate about veganism. I wish veganism didn't have to exist. I just wish we were all non-animal consumers and there wasn't even a name for it. It's just what we are. We eat plants. But unfortunately in this world it is so horrible. There's so much cruelty, the barbaric treatment that these animals are going through every single day. Over 160 billion animals slaughtered yearly just to go on someone's plate, when you don't need animal products to thrive, to live, for health. There's no reason in 2017, with all the information out there and the facts of how detrimental animal products are to our health, the only choice you should be making is to close your purses on these industries and say, I now know what choice I'm making, and that is to be on the side of victims. So this was my phone conversation. Didn't get obviously as elaborate and passionate as I'm getting now, because when I got off the phone, we had a few internet problems and the phone cut out, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video about this because I really want to state how I feel. I will be sending it through to the person and just letting them know why I do what I do every day. It's not because I'm extreme. It's not because I'm crazy. It's not because it's my passion. It's because I woke up one day and really looked and said, wow, this is disgusting. I can't be a part of it. And I knew in my heart, if I didn't stand up and be a voice, I was just as bad. When we sit silent to things that matter, we become as bad as the oppressors. So I couldn't just be vegan and shut my mouth and say, well, I just eat this way because it makes me healthy. And it does make me healthy. It makes me healthy eating the way I do, but it's far more than that to me. It's that I'm turning my back on the way the world has programmed us to believe it's okay to accept animal cruelty because we've always done it. Just because we've always done things, it doesn't make it right. Women have been raped since the beginning of time. It's not right. So that is why I choose to be a voice. I choose to be loud, and I choose to be very proud about the choices that I've made. And yes, I get very angry. I get very hurt when I try very hard to educate people and get people to open their eyes and choose compassion rather than choosing cruelty. And that is why when people make the choice of cruelty, I look at people and say, wow, I don't understand how you can accept this. I don't understand how you can be complacent about it. Because the same way I'd get upset if I knew a child was being beaten or molested, or a woman was being abused, or a man even was being abused, the same way I would be upset about these things, it's exactly the same way I get upset about animals, because they're living beings. They breathe, they feel pain, they hurt. You choose to open your purses you're a part of it. Anyhow, that's it. I've said my piece. I've got it off my chest. I'm Jade. This is the Rawsome Truth. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you feel about these things. Let me know how you feel when people say we've all got choices. Let me know how you feel when family members or friends contribute to animal cruelty beyond the basic still eating animal products. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Most importantly, love life, live free, and be vegan. Bye for now.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.